Hello. Do I disturb him? And change my filming location? My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. This is Mr. Whiskers. He's in my spot. You're in my spot. Although this is his spot. What should I do? Should I mess him up? Welcome to my Flosstube. Hang on. I messed him up. Oh. Say hey, Mr. Whiskers. Oh. I don't think you can hear him purring. He's not purring very hard right now. My name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Welcome to my Flosstube channel. Today is Friday, Friday the 13th. June 13th, 2025. I hope you guys have had a great stitching week. Mine has been not too bad, considering I've been working like crazy this past week. And there's Gracie. Oh, all right, you get down. Give me 1 second. I'm not gonna pause this time. I'm just gonna get up and see if she wants to come in. Come on in. Oh, they're tag teaming. He left. Come on, Gracie. Here's Gracie. Say hi, Gracie Lou. Here's Gracie. See, they both made an appearance. Oh, hi, Gracie. That's my baby girl. Okay. I hope everyone had a good stitching week. My wrist is kind of sore today. I'm not really sure what the deal is. I didn't have to lift anyone heavy. I don't know. Anyway. So, what did I do this week? Worked like 10-hour days every day. Except Tuesday. I was off Tuesday. I had to take the boys to the doctor for their annual visits. I feel like this is like off or lower or I don't know. Something seems off. That's what I get from moving the camera. Anyway. Yeah. Now my hair's all messed up. The downside about stitching on Fridays is my hair's all jacked up from having it up in a hat at work. Because I wear a surgical cap to work. So then my hair, I get like hat hair. We'll get to the stitching, I promise. If you're new, welcome. It's not always this discombobulated. Sometimes it is, but not always. Anyway. Is there anything else I wanted to say? I don't think so. All right. So here's my board. Whoops. Here's my, oh my God. Here's my board. So I got to work on, let me see, those 4 wheel spins, 4 wheel spin pieces. So I'm like caught up for the week on my Whip of Shame, but I think I'm still a day behind from last week. So I have to math that and figure that part out. I am caught up on my Whip into Shape challenge from Andrew the Runner Stitcher, and I gotta finish. So up here on my Monopoly, so I only worked on one Monopoly piece, and that was Catching Rays, and I didn't get to do all of the stitching. I still owe 100 stitches on it, so I still have to do all these. So hopefully I can get all of that done this coming week. If not, we'll just do it over 3 weeks, no big deal. But that was a lot of stitching for one project. But yeah, so let's go over my stitching, shall we? First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you my finish. So this was off of my, so if you missed last week's video, I decided to change stuff up, and last week was the first week I did it, right? I decided to change stuff up again, and I went through every single one of my whips and I divided them up into categories similar to what I had done before. If you used to watch my channel like last year, I think it was, beginning of last year. So I divided everything up into categories. But instead of doing all the crazy plans like I did last year, I am just doing 2 from each category, and I have them on a wheel. And I have the categories in the wheel, so I spin the wheel. It's on my phone, and you're inside my phone. So, but my categories are small full coverage, which is under 250,000, large full coverage, which is over 250,000, like total stitches. Small medium kits. Those are like kind of small or medium sized kits. And then I have large kits, and then Fancy Lady and Sal. So anything that didn't really fit into another category, because I do have a Sal that's not in that category. But Fancy Lady or Fancy Stuff / Sal. And then I have Whip of Shame, but that's not in the wheel spin to be picked. Seasonal. So like spring, summer, autumn, winter stuff, not holiday stuff. Holiday is its own category. And Finish the Shit. So I have 2 projects for each category. So I spin the wheel, it picks a category, and then from there I pick which one of the 2 projects I want to work on that day. Right now, my goal will be for whatever current goal that I have, because I pulled projects from my previous plans that I already had going, so I didn't have to go through a whole new finding all these projects and setting goals and stuff. So, in Finish the Shit, my options are Calendar Girls October and Gingerbread Smalls Carousel. So I spun the wheel, and it selected Finish the Shit, and I decided to work on Gingerbread Smalls Carousel. This is from Gingerbread Smalls 2022 from Twin Peak Primitives. I will eventually do all 9. I have the train completed, and I have this one started, and I had this one started. I'm doing it with the Call for DMC 2/2 full cross on a 28 count Lugana? Jobelin? No, not Jobelin. Lugana? Yeah, in Lugana in the color Cornflower from Fiber on a Whim. And I ended up doing 706 stitches. I did 500 because my plan was to do, like, every time I spun something to work on, I would do 500 stitches on it. And when I got to 500, I didn't have that much more to go. So I went ahead and did the rest of it, and there's my finish. It was a total of 706 stitches to finish it off. Isn't that adorable? It's so cute. So cute. I think my favorite part is down here with like the little candy or gumdrop deals in the bottom of it. That's really cute. It's not done. Oh my God. I need to do the brown. That's right here. Oh my God. Hang on one second. It's done now. It was only like 4 stitches. I even stared at this thing, and I sent a picture to people showing that I had a finish, and not one person pointed that out to me. What nerve. Anyway, now it's done. So I guess it's 500 or 710 stitches that had to be done to finish it off. But yeah, there we go. So let me show you the other one that's started. But I think the next time that I put this into the Finish That Shit rotation, so this series and the Calendar Girls series are going to be kind of like the exceptions to the new start thing, because even though I'm counting each of them as a finish and they're each going to have their own start date, since I want to do all of them and I have plans for them, like I'm kind of counting them as one start, even though they each have their own start date and they're all going to have their own finish date, if that makes sense. But they don't have to like be in the new start rotation part, whatever. Anyway, the next time this goes into my finish the shit pile, I think I want to do this one here. This one is the cream cottage. I want to do that one right there. If you hear any noise in the background, that is my kid. One is in the living room watching TV. The other one is next door playing video games with his friends. Being all loud. Even though I told him not to be. But that's okay. So anyway, there's a finish. So we get to update my big board with my Blue's Clues marker. That's exciting as always. Also today we need to start the voting process for the Whip of Shame for July. Can you believe that's already that time? Next up, speaking of that, let's go ahead and talk about the Whip of Shame for the month of June. If you're new, my Whip of Shame is really old projects, like old projects that I have you guys pick one every month, and then I work on it for 100 stitches a day the following month. So you guys voted. The Whip of Shame winner is, for the month of June, is Goodnight Bears, designed by Fiona Jude. Yeah, Fiona Jude, from Designs for the Needle. I've had this kit since the 90s, I think. I'm not sure. 2004, not the 90s, 2004, but still, it's really old. It's over 20 years. Actually, it's old enough to drink now. If whips could drink. I don't have my board. Oh, I can use this one. Okay, so 100 stitches a day for the month of June. Like I said, I think I might be overall like a day behind, technically, because last week I didn't work on it for a day or something. But I'm good for this week. So I just have to do the math and just make sure that I'm still on track to, I mean, I will finish it, or not finish the project, but finish my goal. So this month I need 3,000 stitches on it. So I'll just do the math and make sure that that's all good. But I'm doing it with everything that came in the kit. It's a 14 count white Aida. And this is where I'm at with it so far. I did 768 stitches on it. And I've been working up in the window up here. I wanted to go back down and work on the bear more, but I was like, you know what? Let me just try to be dedicated and work on some of this background. Because I know a lot of people will be like, oh, I want to like see the bears looking at me. Well, first of all, they're asleep. All the bears are asleep. But second of all, if I know myself, that's why these kits are really old. Well, part of the reason, if I don't do this background now and I do all the fun stuff first, then I'm not going to want to do the background, and they will languish for another 20 years until I'm older. A lot older. So figure if I just do the background now, I can get that done, and then I can work on the fun stuff. And then maybe I don't even need to work on it as a Whip of Shame. I'll just want to work on it. We'll see. So this is going to stay out because I need to keep working on it. Got 2 more weeks of seeing that. And then let's go ahead and we'll do, so the first wheel spin I landed on Fancy Stuff / Stitch Along. And so my first one, so the one I decided to work on was the Mermaids of the Season Cell from Bella Filipina. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. This was from last year, year before, 2023. I have all the called for everything. Floss, beads, fabric, all of it. So I'm doing this 2/2 on a 28 count even weave. What is it? Lugana. Oh, plain in the color Singing in the Rain from Fiberlicious. This was the called for fabric, and this was like kind of like a collab with Fiberlicious and Bella Filipina. So if you've been following me, you know that I still owed, my goal for this was to do 1,000 stitches in each mermaid. I still owed stitches for winter. I have not done those stitches yet. I'll do them later. But I decided, instead of doing autumn, I'll come up and do spring. So I'm going to show you spring first, and then I'll show you what all I've had done, the other stuff. So this is the 500 stitches. Yeah, 500 stitches I got in spring. I already had some of her tail, as you saw from the before photo. I had some of her tail done already, and I decided to go ahead and just kind of try to work up, like filling in that tail more. So I have some of the beads, and I have some Kreinik in there as well. Where is the Kreinik? Here it is. So I have, it's hard to see. It's hard to see. You can see it in person just fine. But see a little bit right there, and some beads in, because I stitch in hand, so it doesn't bother me to bead as I go. So that's what I've been doing. And then I kind of filled in the gray part of the border a little bit more. But here's everything I've done so far. I have no stitches on the autumn mermaid. So I still need to do hers. So the next time this comes out, I'm going to do another 500 on the spring mermaid. Summer mermaid got her 1,000 already. She's not done, obviously, but she got her 1,000 stitches. And then winter still needs 200 or 300. I don't remember which one. I'll know once I update my tracker. Excuse me. I'll know once I update my tracker which one, like which amount she needs. And then I still need to do 1,000 stitches on autumn. So there's that. I was a little nervous about stitching with the Kreinik because I usually will do, I've heard such horror stories about it, so I usually will do like petite treasure braid instead. But I got the bead pack and specialty floss pack when I got the pattern and the fabric. I went ahead and just got all of it. And not gonna lie, it has not been bad stitching with it. Maybe because I've heard so many horror stories, I'm like, let me just go ahead and like work with shorter strands and stuff like that. I haven't had any issues. So my strands of the Kreinik were only about this long. Usually my length of floss, if I'm doing 2/2, I'll hold the end and I'll go to my elbow, and then I double it, and then I go a little bit past that for like a 2-strand. If I'm just doing a single strand, or if I'm doing either a blend or a fancy floss that's variegated, I'll just do the length I would do for like a single strand. So, which I didn't even tell you that part, which was just hand to elbow once, maybe a little bit past that. But I'll usually like cut a full length and then cut that in half, and that's what I'll use for my single strand. But the Kreinik, I'm only cutting about this much off at a time. So maybe that's why I'm not having a problem, because it's not really getting a chance to like really fray. So anyway, then the next thing I spun was seasonal. And my options were Winter in the Village and something else. I don't remember what the other thing was. But I opted to work on Winter in the Village because I have been wanting to work on this for a few weeks now. I kept thinking about it. I was like, man, I really want to work on Winter in the Village. And this is from Stony Creek Collection. It's book 418. I have all 4 of these started. They have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. There's the other ones. But I have all 4 of them started, but this is the one I'm working on right now. And I'm doing it with the called for threads, 2/2 full cross on a 28 count even weave in the color Summer Sky. And that is where I got to with it. So it's not ironed, obviously. I don't iron at all. I have an iron, I just don't know where it is. Hang on one second. Let me just do it like this. So I had so this border down here is like the only like quote unquote specialty floss that's all in all 4 of them. Each one has a different color, and it's a Classic Colorworks. I don't remember the color. And then there is a silver petite treasure braid that's going to go, I think, right up here, maybe. But I did all the cross stitching, like cross stitching wise. The snowman over here is done. I finished the thread off on that was hanging over here, and all the tree over here is done. And I had a thread hanging here that I went ahead and completed. So I started filling in this tree, and what I plan to do next time this comes out is I'm going to keep working. I'm going to finish this thread, but I'm going to kind of keep working up this tree to where I can get the snowman like kind of filled in all around him. Then I can backstitch him. And then he'll really pop out because he's really cute. And I'm excited to get him backstitched so you could see it. I know, me being excited about backstitch, and that wild. But I have discovered, if you're new, the old viewers know I hate backstitching. But I have discovered, as I've actually worked on other projects, it's really not that I hate backstitching. I hate backstitching dimensions kits, which is all I used to work on. So I thought I hated all backstitching, but it turns out that's not the case. Like these types of patterns, I don't mind the backstitching because it really makes stuff pop. Like I did some backstitching here, and it really makes stuff pop out. And so I've discovered that it's not really backstitching in general, it's just backstitching dimensions kits that I can't stand. Like that one right there. Like that one right there. I finished the cross stitching in 2017, and it took me until 2023 to get the backstitching completed. But the specialty, just real quick, back to this, the specialty thread that's in the, you see it's a little bit variegated, it's Karen Water Lilies, and it's in the color Polar Ice. So that's the, and each, like I said, each one has a different color. Like the spring one I think is guacamole. Autumn is some orange, and summer is a yellow, but I don't remember the names of those colors. But I have them when I get to them. So there was winter. I got 500 stitches on that, and then my next spin was the Finish the Shit, which I ended up doing Gingerbread Carousel. And then my final wheel spin was White Tiger Ghost. Well, no, it wasn't that. It was small full coverage. And so I decided to work on White Tiger Ghost. And this is a pattern charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. I feel like I'm all over the place. I hope this is like in a little bit of order. It is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Jeremy Paul, and it is 300 by 300 and has 59 colors. This is a crop. There is a bigger version. Boop. Gotta boop the nose. Kitty, kitty, kitty. Ooh. Meow. Meow. Okay. So when I pulled it out, I'm doing the call for DMC, 2 strands, full cross on a 14 count Ada, like ivory Ada. And so when I pulled it out, I still had to frog that part of the eye that I had misplaced, misstitched. So I went ahead and did that before I got started. So the before picture is going to be like after frogging. And I did 500 stitches on this, and this is where I got to it. I have my fabric folded, so don't freak out. Sometimes I show stuff and the fabric's all folded up, and it's not often because I've started saying it, but I used to get comments of, oh my God, is your fabric big enough? Yes, it's just folded up. It's easier to hold up this way. Because here's like the whole fabric. You don't, like, I fold the fabric to make it easier. So don't panic, I have enough. That's okay. There we go. So I got 500 stitches on it. And this is the area that I had to frog. So I am currently sitting at 5,494 stitches completed out of 90,000. I am at 6.10%. I was having, honestly, not gonna lie, I was having a hard time. I know I've been working in diagonals a lot, but I was kind of having a little bit of a hard time figuring out how I wanted to work this. Because I wasn't really feeling the diagonal right now, which I've said before in other full coverages, and then when I get back to it, I'm like, yeah, I want to do diagonal. I wasn't really feeling it on this one, and so what I decided to do was kind of do what Stitching Mommy does, where you like pick a stitch in the top row right here, not in the very top row, but in that top block, and work that thread either down or across, whichever way it kind of flows. So some of my threads went down, some of them went across, but I mostly worked up in this area right up here. So some of my stuff, and so I started just parking threads because this is not gridded. I've already screwed stuff up since I had to frog. So I was like, I didn't want to go too far without making sure that they were in the right spots. So I don't know, we'll see if I keep doing that when I pull this out again, or if that's when I decide, hey, I want to do diagonals now. I don't know, but he's at 6.10%. I also was like, didn't really want to get too committed to a stitching method with this because the goal for this is on the lower side compared to other pieces, because it was one of my temperature whips, so I think we might be close to halfway done with the goal by now, pretty sure. So I was like, I'll just work on it until the goal's done, and then I'll figure it out when I come up with a plan of attack later for how I'm gonna get these whips worked on. So anyway, do I really only have 2 more whips to show you? I do. I only have 2 more whips to show. Okay, next up is Catching Rays. So this is my biggest piece. It's over 1 million stitches. Oh my God. Okay, it's my biggest piece. It's over 1 million stitches. It's charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It's 1200 by 900 and has 134 colors. That's what it's gonna look like when it's done. And so pretty. So its total stitch count is 1,080,000. So I have this as a Monopoly piece. It's currently well, it was just Go, but now it's gonna be Go and free parking, and then income tax and luxury tax. But once that goal gets done, it will get replaced. But it's also my focus piece for Andrew the Runner Stitcher's Whip into Shape. So if you're not familiar with that, let me just do a brief explanation, because a lot of people are doing it, so you probably have heard of it, or if you've been watching me the past few weeks, I've been talking about it. Andrew the Runner Stitcher, I will link his channel down below. He is training for a marathon that he's going to run at the end of August. I believe is it the Chicago Marathon? I think it's in Chicago. I think it might be the Chicago, but I could be wrong. Anyway, he's training for a marathon. He's gonna run it in August. So he created a challenge where you pick a whip And for every mile he runs while he's training, you do 10 stitches. Jessie Marie is being psychotic, and she's doing 26.2 times the number of miles he runs. Cuckoo. No, I'm just kidding, Jessie. Yeah, people are doing what they want. You can do it by time, you can do it by mile. I'm doing the 10 stitches per mile. I thought about doing more, but I was like, I have other stuff I have to work on, and he is going to be running a lot once his train, like over the next like month, while his training really starts kicking in. Because I mean, he's running the marathon in August, and he's going to get to the point where he's running almost a marathon length over the weekend while he's training, and that's going to be a lot of stitches. So I have 2 areas. It's going to be 1 photo, but I have 2 areas I'm going to be showing you, because I stitched on this for the marathon training. I also stitched on this for Monopoly. And what I did is, I should have the before photo up either right now or just after I start talking about this. But what I did was, I'm continuing to work in the 2 diagonals for the marathon training, but this is the first time I needed to work on it for Monopoly after the marathon training started. And so what I decided to do was, I wanted to keep them separate, and so I decided to start a new diagonal with the Monopoly so that I could try to keep everything separated as much as I could. So for Monopoly, hang on. I've got this fabric like accordion folded because it's like so big. I'm doing it 1/1 full cross with the call for DMC on a 32 count easy count Lugana. Okay, so here we go. So Monopoly is over here, and I did 700 stitches on it. I needed 800, so I still owe 100 stitches for Monopoly. And over here, I've been doing the marathon stitching. So my marathon stitching started off up here. I've gotten all the way down here. There's still a few stitches right there that I gotta do. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down here, because I was working this page by page. See? So what I'm going to do is, as his marathon training continues, I realized after I had started this, I was like, oh shoot, I'm going to finish this diagonal before he's done with his marathon training. So what I'm going to do is, once this diagonal is completely stitched down, I'm just going to kind of keep doing diagonals, but just working down this way until the marathon is done. And then once it's done, and I'll keep doing Monopoly up here, and once I hit this, I'll just do another diagonal. But then once the marathon is done, then I'll work on getting everything lined back up again. But yeah. So I can't believe how far I've gotten with that marathon training. Like, isn't that crazy? I now have 29,781 stitches. For the marathon training, I did 458 stitches. And for Monopoly, I did 700. So a total of 1,168 stitches for the week on this. So now I have a total of 29,781 out of 1,080,000. I am at 2.76%. Still a long way to go. But still doable to finish in my lifetime if I work on it consistently. Like consistently, I could get it done in 20 years. 20 years is a doable, time frame. No. Hang on. Lachlan wanted to get Gracie. Okay. last whip. Okay, last one up is my focus piece for the year. This is Honeymoon Sunset. It is charted by the Cross Stitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. It is $8.69 by $6.49. It has 133 colors, and this is what it's going to look like when it's done. My goal is to get it, I didn't take it out of the bag. My goal is to get it to 50% by the end of the year. So far, I'm still on track to do that. So I'm working on this in, I didn't say I'm working on Catching Rays in 2 diagonals too, but I probably went ahead and put the little 2 diagonals guy up. But I'm working on this one also in 2 diagonals, but I'll do that when I'm showing the piece. Where is it? Here it is. And let me get down to the part where I worked. Maybe. Okay, here we go. So, excuse me. Here I am with this 2 diagonals. I got 1,000 stitches completed. I'm doing it 2 over 1/10 stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. And I am now sitting at 246,271 stitches completed out of 563,981. I am at 43.67%. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but I'll show this half because it's like easy. So, as we get further up, oh, so you know, well, you want to see something that I think so as we get further up, like near the house, as we get further up near this house here, there's going to be a birdhouse starting to come in, right? A bird bath, not a birdhouse, a bird bath coming in like over here somewhere. But also, if I looked at it correctly, hang on, let me see if I can find it again, if I'm right. Look at that, not me. I think, maybe not. I thought that we were gonna start seeing the tip of the water starting to come in, but maybe not. Maybe that's in the next diagonal over. Oh, it's in the next one. Boo hiss. You're not gonna be able to see nothing from here, figure out the pattern, but this right here, that's the water, but I'm over here. That's the water coming in. Man, nuts. I thought we were gonna get to start seeing some water. But anyway, yeah, so that's where I got to with that diagonal. But yeah, really enjoying it so far. So I'm working on it from the upper right hand corner, 2 diagonals at a time, and it really seems to be doing the trick for me because, and I'm doing 2 diagonals, 40 stitches, 20 stitch wide diagonals, but I'm doing 2 at a time, so it's 40 stitches wide, which I really like because, yeah, it takes you longer to get through 1 diagonal because it's 40 stitches wide, but I really like that because you get to see more stuff. You get to see more interesting stuff coming in because the diagonal is so wide. So that's all the whips I have to show. Okay, so real quick, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna spin the wheel to see which 2 projects you're gonna vote on for Whip a Shame for July. And then when we come back, I'll show you those. And I'm gonna show you, or we're gonna update my boards. I'm gonna show you those 2 so you can start voting. And I'm gonna show you my replacement that I decided to do for the gingerbread carousel. Like, cause I'm doing something besides one of the gingerbread pieces. So let's go to the Tiny Decisions Wheel app on the tablet. It's not connected because I have an Android tablet, but I have an iPhone, so I don't have the same stuff on my Decisions Wheel app on my phone as I do on my tablet. Okay, whip of shame. If I need something, hang on one second. Hang on one moment. I need this paper to reference. Okay, so I have all of my current whips of shame on here. If one gets picked because once one, like I'm working on Goodnight Bears right now, it's out of the running to be a whip of shame for the next 4 months after this month is completed. So it won't be eligible again until November. Okay. So when one gets selected, if it sounds like it shouldn't be picked, I'm going to spin again. Rocky Point. It's my gel piece for Monopoly. All right, let's see what you guys are gonna do. You guys are probably gonna show how much you hate me. We'll keep it. Rocky Point versus Magnificent Wizard. Okay. Okay. Rocky Point versus Magnificent Wizard. You know what? We're going to do this again. I can't do this. I can't. Will we do this again? I'm thinking for a second because, and see, this is why they're whips of shame. So Rocky Point is currently my jail piece for Monopoly. Magnificent Wizard, this would be the 3rd time that I have worked on it as a whip of shame since I started doing this last May. If this is the one that you guys vote on. It's already been worked on twice. So I worked on it in February. I don't remember what month I worked on it last year, like September or October or something like that. And I worked on it in February. And this is the first month that it can be worked on. Let's do one more. I can't. If I have the same reaction to the 3rd one, then we're just going to stick with the first 2. Riding the Wave. Okay. Okay, so let's do it between Magnificent Wizard and, because Rocky Point will keep getting worked on because the dog keeps landing in jail. So we're gonna do it between Magnificent Wizard and Riding the Wave. So I will grab both of those and my boards. I'll be right back. Okay. So let's do the show and tell first, and then we'll update the boards. I know we're kind of going out of order from what I normally do, but it's all right. So the piece I'm going to replace the Gingerbread Smalls carousel with is going to be one of my small little kits from it's Dolly Mama Ho. Who's it by? I don't know. This one here. Got this from in a Stitchy Kindness box. And this will be my starting point with it. So you can see it's close to, well, I mean, I still have other stuff to do on it, but it's not that bad. So yeah, that'll be the replacement for Gingerbread Smells Carousel. And so when I finish either this one or the Calendar Girls October, whichever one ends up being the one finished first, then that one will get replaced with something else. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these boards updated real quick, and then we'll do Whip of Shame. Okay. Got my Blues Clues marker. Let's update my finish board. So I have 9 finishes so far this year. Let's go ahead and add number 10. Gingerbread Smells Carousel. Look at those finishes. Isn't that fabulous? Just fabulous. All right, so what we're gonna do now, since we're here, is we're gonna grab my big board. I think I have it, I'm just dropping stuff everywhere. So this is where I have my current active, well, I revamped my plans again, so last week. So not everything on here is like technically active right now, but I'm not marking through this stuff. We'll just mark through it as the goals get done. So I need to mark off Gingerbread Carousel, because that one's a finish. Get a new marker. Okay, give me just 1 second. Did I add those? Oh, I did add those. Okay, I was trying to think if I added those 2 new starts that I had done that aren't like in my active whips right now. Ah! I'm being attacked. Okay, so let's go ahead and add Dolly Mama Ho on here. So as these, look, you can tell with my handwriting, this one, as I'm holding it up on the board trying to write because it's falling on me, and this one, this column and this column, it's like nice handwriting because I had it on the table and I was writing it nicely. But as these goals get done, they will come off of the list. So as these, I know I change my plans like about as often as I change underwear, it seems like, which is daily. So I guess not as often as I change my underwear, but I know I change my plans very frequently, but the idea with this right now is that my current list that I have to pick from that I can work on is coming out of my previous active whips, because I have over 200 projects if you didn't know. So I have inactive whips and active whips. So I had a crap ton of active whips. So my pared down list that I'm working off of right now is out of that active list, and I'm going to keep pulling from that until I can pull no more. So like the hang on. So like this is my current list. I use an erasable pen so I don't have to make a new list every time. I'm just like for the finish the shit one, I just erased the carousel and wrote Dolly Mama Ho on there. But as like the holiday, Christmas cupcake and holiday Quaker, as their goals get met, once their goal gets met, it's going to come off the list. I'm going to look over my current, all my boards, and see which one meets the holiday list and replace it from that before I go into my inactive whips. That way I don't have to keep like changing my boards around. Anyway. I was going to show you the whip of shame stuff. Wow. So this is what happens when I go out of order. I lose focus on what I'm doing. And I hear it thundering. It's raining outside now. Okay. So whip of shame for the month of July. Your choices are going to be between dimensions and a division of dimensions. First one up is going to be Magnificent Wizard. This is a Dimensions Gold Collection designed by Dawn Mates. I've worked on this one twice since I started doing Whip of Shame last May. And this is what it's going to look like when it's done. I am stitching it with the called for stuff on an 18 count black Aida. I don't mind this project. I've just have been working on this. I've worked on it twice. So it's gotten like either 6,000 or 61 or 6,200 stitches depending on which month it was in. Although I think this might have been a February Whip of Shame, so it got less. But anyway, this is where I'm at with it right now. So this would be my starting point. And I'm currently, I'm working in this area here, like this top part, because that's what I have a copy of. Like I have a working copy of the pattern, and that's where I have the working copies. So this, I'm just focused on this part until this area gets done. Then I'll probably move over, maybe over this way. I don't know if I'm gonna move over or down. I'm not sure. But that would be my starting point for Magnificent Wizard. And the goal will be 3,100 stitches because there's 31 days in July. So, Magnificent Wizard versus, I think this might be hard for a few people. Riding the Wave. This is from Creative Accents, designed by Jim Warren. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. I think, did I work on this as, yeah, I think I worked on this as a Whip of Shame. And I remember when I did this, so usually when I do, I'm using all the called for stuff that came in the kit, and it's on a 16 count Dove Gray Aida. So I remember, was it this piece, or I think it might have been this piece. So usually when, this is my starting, whoops, I just bumped the camera, my bad. Well, I bumped the board and the board is up against the tripod. So usually when I do half stitches, which is what a lot of the, like the background and the sky and stuff, that's what a lot of that is. But usually when I do half stitches, it's 2 half stitches is 1 stitch, because that would be like a full cross, right? And this particular piece, I went ahead and converted it 1 to 1. So 1 half stitch I counted as 1 stitch. So I didn't technically really get as far because I just did a straight up 3,000 stitches instead of like upwards of closer to 6,000 because of the 2 half stitches for every 1 full cross counting. And I didn't like that. And that's when I decided to go back to, I think the month after that was when I did Walking to Town. And I was, or maybe it was the month before I did Walking to Town, then I did Riding the Wave. And I was like, you know, I just didn't get as far because I counted the half stitches as 1 stitch when I could have done more. But that's my starting point with Riding the Wave. So you guys vote in the comment section down below which one you want to see me work on in July. And you have until the end of the month to vote. Riding the Wave is copyright 2003. Now back then I was getting these kits as they were coming out. So my years of purchasing could be off, but I feel like it was about that time frame. Magnificent Wizard, copyright 2002. So not that much, not that far apart in age. So yeah, y'all let me know which one you want to work on. Like I said, I have a feeling a couple of my stitching friends might have difficulty choosing which one they want to see me work on. Horses or wizard? I know it can be a tough choice, but my wrist really hurts. I don't know what I did to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish updating these boards. It hurts. It's very sore. I think maybe I slept on it wrong. I don't know. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get these boards updated. I am very out of sorts. Okay, I needed my notebook. All right, let's go. Let's do this little one first. Okay. So here's my little board. And what we need to update on this is gingerbread carousel. I had 800 stitches. I did another, well, we're gonna say 710 since I had to do 4 more stitches to finish it off for real. So we are at 1,510. And I have lines through these two because it's work on until they're done and they're paper pattern, so I don't have like a finished stitch count. Yeah, I hear it raining outside. I don't know if you can. Finished. And then Goodnight Bears, I had 460. Yeah, I think I'm behind. I gotta math how much I need to catch up on. I did another 768, so that brings it up to 1,228. And my goal is dropping from 2,540 down to 1,772. So, and then Catching Ray's marathon stitching. I had 1,153. I did another 458 stitches, bringing this up to 1,000. Hold on. 1,611 stitches completed for the marathon stitching. So that's cool. Okay. And then this board here is one of my Monopoly boards. This one is, so my Monopoly boards, you're only gonna see this one because I didn't work on the other pieces, but my Monopoly boards are still going to keep all of the original whips listed. I'm just going to erase them as their goal gets done. So once the Catching Ray's goal gets done, I'm going to replace it with Dreaming of Autumn Leaves, most likely, and I'll just erase Catching Ray's off of there. Okay. So Catching Rays, I had 2,000 stitches. I did 700, so we're going up to 2,700 stitches. My Monopoly goals are all 4,000 stitches. And my goal is dropping from 2,000 down to what, 1,300? Yeah, no. Yeah. Down to 1,300. So there's that. That's all I got for that board. All right. And then here is my old temperature whip or temperature list. I was doing the temperatures, but with everything I have going on in real life, I just don't have time to do temperature stitching right now. So I wasn't getting the progress I wanted, so I'm holding off on doing temperature stitching for now. Anyway, the ones I worked on, first one is White Tiger Ghost. That one is up here. I had 500, I did another 500, so we're going up to 1,000. 1,000. And my goal is dropping from 1,500 down to 1,000. So that's what I'm saying, like as this, like once this goal gets done, White Tiger Ghost will come off of my small full coverage list. And do I have my notebook? Yeah, it'll come off of my small full coverage picks, right? My little focus list here. And I have all of my, where is it? Hang on, I have it here somewhere. So this is my list for all of my full coverage pieces that are under 250,000. So what I'll do is once my goal gets done for White Tiger Ghost, that will come off of the list, and then I'm going to compare what I have on here to here and pick one of these as long as it matches up on here. So honestly, like it might be, because I did under 250,000. It could be Artist's Kitchen. Cherry Blossom is the other one I can pick from. Or Villa Lorna is on that list as well. So it'll probably be either Artist's Kitchen or Villa Lorna will be the next one to replace White Tiger Ghost. Okay, what else? Oh, Winter in the Village, 400. I had 400, I did another 500, so that's gonna go up to 900. I need to get new markers this weekend. My goal is dropping from 1,600 down to 1,100. Whoops, 1,100. And I think that's all I have to update on this board. Pretty sure. Got that, got that, got that. Got it, got it, got it. Yeah, okay. Okay, final board to update. Oh my God. I don't know what I did to my wrist, but it's really sore. I'll be okay. Don't be like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's fine. I'll be fine. It's just, it's sore. I think I just need to rest it. Okay, on here. Oh, so real quick, since we have this out, the only thing that I'm kind of questioning, because like, you know, some of these, like Coffee Gnome has like the, you know, as these kind of get pulled into these pared down rotation, a lot of them are under, except for Coffee Gnome, a lot of them are under 3,000 stitches for their goals, except for Coming to Room and Creekview Cottage, because they were on my full coverage focus to 1% rotation. I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to keep the goal as 1% or if I'm going to drop that goal down so I can try to rotate through stuff faster. Not going to lie, I'm not sure what the plan is going to be for that, but we'll tackle that when we get to it. Okay, Mermaid Style. I had 1,700. So it's 300 I owe on the winter one. I did another 500. So the goal is going up, or the stitches completed is going up to 2,200. My goal is dropping from 2,300 down to 1,800. And then, Honeymoon Sunset. Whoa. Honeymoon Sunset. I had 33,360 stitches. I did another 1,000 stitches, so we're just going to update this number to 34. And my goal was 36,720. 36,720 is dropping down to 35,720. So that's cool. These are almost, amount-wise, it's about even. It's almost even Steven. My percent complete, I failed. I didn't write it down. 1 second. My percent complete is now, it was 43.49%. It is now 43.67%. I really need a new marker. 43.67%. You can't read that. Okay. All right. So what am I going to be working on in the coming week? I need to do the last 100 stitches for Catching Rays. I gotta do Keeping Out Honeymoon Sunset and Goodnight Bears and Catching Rays marathon stitching. Andrew has a few days. I hope you're having a blast, Andrew. I really do. Andrew's at StitchCon this weekend, so he's having a bunch of rest days so that he can enjoy his time there. I am so excited for him because it's his first retreat. He's never been. He's just like, oh, I'm so nervous, but I'm so excited. So yeah, very excited for him. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing my wheel spins. Oh yeah, and then Sunday he comes back with a bang. I think he's running like, what is he running? I don't know, some ridiculous number. Like 14 or something. But anyway, Monopoly stitching. So I still need to do 400 stitches on Rocky Point. This was the one where I was like, oh my God, because it's my jail piece too. So I still have to do 400 stitches on Rocky Point because the dog is in jail, and that's my starting point. I also, like I said, I have 100 stitches left for Catching Rays to get that one done. So I'll get that done this weekend. And then I need to do one of the pieces landed on, I think it was Community Chest, and it said New Start, but what I decided to do was, instead of doing another New Start, because I have so many, I decided to do 200, because it said New Start for 200 stitches. I decided to grab one of my newest New Starts that I've already done. I didn't put these two on there. Okay, let me show this real quick. This was one of my newest New Starts. Rambunctious Raccoons by Glendon Place. I decided to go ahead and do another 200 stitches on this instead of doing a New Start. And can you hear my kid? He's so loud. That deep manly voice. And there's my starting point with that. So I'm going to work on that raccoon's head. And see, I knew I was forgetting something. I got to put this and the Outrageous Owls on my big board. I'll do that real quick since I have the board out. And then I need to do Christmas Reindeer. Rocky Point, yeah, okay. Christmas Reindeer, one of the pieces has to pay rent for 300 stitches. So I need to do 300 stitches on Christmas Reindeer. And I did, if you missed last week's video, I'm not doing a new round of Monopoly today because I have stitches to catch up on. But what I decided to do is my starting point for Christmas Reindeer. What I decided to do was I pared down my Monopoly stitching as well to where, like I said, I still have all those pieces listed, but I looked at what I had worked on and I took the piece out of that little grouping. Like this is for, hang on, this is for, I think, the light blue properties. So Oriental, Connecticut, and Vermont. Out of those three, I looked at the 3 projects, and whichever one was closest to the goal, that's my new piece for all 3 of the light blue properties. And so on and so on and so on. So I did that through each grouping, including the railroads. And then I'm keeping, the only one that's keeping its original kind of form is when they're in jail. That's gonna stay where that's the only one that's worked on for like anything like, cause like if you're passing jail, like if you're just going around the board and you go past that, that was Village Inn, I think it was. It's a Mill Hill kit. But instead, that's going to become Catching Rays until the goal gets met. So Catching Rays will be for go, for free parking, passing through jail, and then free parking had income tax and luxury tax stitches for those 2 spots. And so those will also become Catching Rays. And then once Catching Rays' goal is met, then I think Dreaming of Autumn Leaves was the next closest one, which is for free parking. And so then that one will become the whip for all those spots. And so we'll just kind of keep doing that. And if my goal for this list gets met and like my focus piece and temperature whips, I run out of projects, I will look at my Monopoly projects to see if any of those ones can be pulled to be added to this list. Like Christmas ABC is off of my Monopoly list because I didn't have any other, for the large kits category, because I didn't have any other large kits in my temperature whips and focus piece lists. So once one of those goals get met, and so my goals right now, they're like Oceans ABC and Christmas ABC are the 2 large kits category. The Oceans ABC goal total was only 2,000 stitches, right? Yeah, 2,000 stitches total, but it's only 1,400 stitches to meet the goal because it was one of my temperature whips. Christmas ABC, its original goal was 4,000 stitches. I have no idea, because the board is over there. I have no idea where it's at on the goal, but it will obviously get more stitches than Oceans ABC because its goal was higher. So when Ocean ABC's goal gets done, that's the only large kit I have on that on the temperature list and the focus pieces. So I'll go back to Monopoly and see if any other large kits are on that list that I can pull from. If not, then I'll go to my inactive bin and pull one of those large kits to replace Oceans ABC. That's how I plan on working right now. I may change my mind. I also originally said that I was going to do 2,000 stitches for every whip. Like once I got these goals done, I was just going to do 2,000 stitches. But I think I might possibly, as it gets replaced, be like, okay, well, this one is in Pattern Keeper, so I want to go ahead and get it up to this percent. Or maybe I'll say I want to work on it until I get, I don't know. Because I was thinking about doing different stitch count amounts for different goals. I don't know, I'm still kind of hashing that out. It doesn't matter right now because I already have goals set. But as these pieces get replaced, I have to figure out if I just want to do a set stitch count or if I want to base the stitch count off of the type and the size of the project. Like if I replace a large full coverage, 2,000 stitches isn't much on a large full coverage. So it's like, should I have that goal be higher? Like, I don't know. And if it's tent stitch versus full cross, because I keep thinking back to a couple years ago when I had Fairy Tale Cottage and I wanted to do 2,000 stitches on it for my goal. And I got that done in like a day and a half because I'm doing it in tent stitch and I was working in the sky and it was like this big block of blue. I got it done in like a day, maybe a day and a half. Because I was just like whipping through it. And then I didn't see it again for like over a year because I got the goal done. And I'm like, so it's like, should I have my full coverages be more? Or the size, based on the size? Like if it's a large non-full coverage, have it be more? But I guess right now it doesn't matter because I already have goals set, like I said. So anyway. Yeah, I feel like this was a bit of a mess. I am planning on doing a mid-year whip parade of the pieces that I have worked on, not a full whip parade, but the pieces that I have actually put stitches in on. I do plan on doing that. I just don't know 100% when I'm going to be able. Oh, Gracie, my goodness. She's on the other side of the door. You hear her? Let me in. I just don't know when I'm going to be able to film it. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. It might be in July. I was hoping to do it in June. She's pushing on the door now. I was hoping to do it in June, but I might do it in July. Maybe. Or maybe I'll surprise you and I'll have time to do it this weekend. Who knows? Don't hold your breath, though. Don't hold your breath. But anyway, yeah, I gotta do a mid-year whip parade of the stuff that I have worked on so far, so we'll see when that happens. It'll be within the next month. How about that? Okay, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. Please vote for the Whip of Shame, whichever one you want to see me work on in the month of July. And either Magnificent Wizard or Riding the Wave. If you don't want to decide right now, you don't have to. You have next week too. Because I won't announce the winner until either the last Flosstube of this month or the first Flosstube of July. I'm not sure. Hang on, let me see my calendar. Wait a second. Stop it. Stop it. Utilities. Hang on, let me pull up my calendar. So yeah, the 27th. So in 2 weeks. So if you don't want to decide right now, you don't have to. I'm going to show them both again next week, and then you have the following week to vote on as well. You'll have until the 27th of June, because that is when I will announce the winner, because I will start working on it the following Tuesday. Yeah, so I think that's about it. Ooh, it's lightning out there. All right, take care. Happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.